all the guys are like, yeah, I do that too.
I believe it. I believe it.
All right, if you're a male and you are watching this, please confirm whether or not you do this in the shower.
Why? Because she's Mexican?
I knew you were gonna pull that up.
Wakka.
Oh, come on. Some might say that lockdown is family oriented.
I hate this podcast.
Okay.
13 and a half.
Maybe 15. Sorry, 15. Okay, more than
Sorry.
Welcome back. You are listening and watching to the most witting podcast.
Wait, the most willing or the most witting?
Witting. W-I-T-T-I-N-G.
Okay.
Witting means done in full awareness or consciousness or deliberate.
Are you sure that's not willing?
No, witting. Yeah, witting.
Pretty sure those are the same definition.
Okay, yeah, this is a very witting podcast. If you are, this podcast is a podcast of We're Alive Scouts Honor, specifically Scouts Honor. If you haven't listened to the 7th episode of Scouts Honor, please go back and listen to it. Which actually, I thought about this, right? Because we're going to introduce ourselves in a moment, but I just thought about this. What if someone, we know at least one who's just listening to Scouts Honor, right?
At least one, yep.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting if you're just listening to Scouts Honor? I mean, we know that this is kind of like a standalone podcast. Like, all I can think of is people who's looking on YouTube, watching on YouTube, and saw our podcast, and then start listening to us. It's like, oh, I'm gonna start listening to Scouts Honor. I'm like, wait, there's more? yeah. But anyway, my name is AJ.
Wakka.
Jay.
Ace?
Oh, welcome.
Welcome.
You disappeared on the screen. Hold on.
Oh no!
The title of this podcast, I don't know if you guys didn't notice, there's no title in this podcast.
Honestly, I never know the title till you guys tell me.
Yeah, there's no title in this podcast. There's not even any intro in this podcast.
Yeah.
I had to ask Casey. I said, Casey, what's the title of this podcast? There's nothing in there. I said, Casey, I keep on forgetting to tell you, there's no intro and title on this pod that you sent us. He said, oh, crap. He said, that's the 107? I said, yes, that's 107. And then so I asked him the title, and the title is Unraveling the Trail. That's the title.
Unraveling.
Interesting.
Unraveling the Trail. Or untraveling the trail.
Untraveling the rail?
Untraveling the rail. Awesome. Man, episode 7. We're almost there. Actually, like literally, we're almost there. Like next week is the last episode of Scouts Honor.
Yeah.
Gone too fast.
Yeah, right?
Right? 8 weeks.
I'm going to start with my thoughts. My thoughts in this episode, we kind of have a little bit of conversation about this. This is like kind of like a down dip of the episode, which expected but not actually expected, because I feel like I told them earlier that this doesn't feel like the second to the last episode of the season. I feel like this is like a mid season. I'm not saying this episode is mid. I feel like this should be in the mid part of the season.
Yeah, I would have expected them to leave the house.
Yeah. So it feels like kind of a filler episode, but it's still an important, like a vital part of the whole season. And I said at the same time that what we know that when there's a dip, there's gonna be a big thing going on. Which I mean, if the last episode of this season is meh, I was like, wait, what?
Don't let us down. Don't let us down.
Which I mean, we all know that it's not gonna be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Ace, what do you think about this episode?
This is a lot of what I expected.
Yeah.
Because of the timing for it, it made me think of, especially once we get to the end, it made me think of Lockdown a lot. To where it's like, okay, we have the plan, and then we're gonna go. And basically the whole episode is the setup for that line is, okay, we're gonna do this, let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
This is that moment. How about you guys?
It was just a cool down for me, waiting for the big thing to happen. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that big thing.
I thought it was interesting. There were a couple things that were resolved in a little more. I think there was a few setups that we'll talk about later, which I'm going to be disappointed about. Yeah. But
oh my god!
I have to come to an admittance of something, but
Yeah. Well, one thing that definitely resolved is we know what happened to his parents. You know what I mean? Like we know that from the previous episode.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about like they're not there.
Yeah,
you know, they're not in the house, which I feel like we all expected that.
Well, we kind of figured that.
You know, they're not gonna be there. Nobody's gonna be there.
Except for Pilar.
Except for Pilar.
I was hoping for someone else to be there, but she never showed up.
We're gonna have to talk about that at some point, but
hey, we don't know yet. You know, we don't know yet. Okay, so I asked Casey, and he said that the intro is supposed to be in the beginning. That's what he said. It got cut off.
So yet again, another edit.
Yeah. No, more like a added, because I think when they rendered it, the first part of it got cut off. So we started with the little recap of how Zach's parents left him. What a bunch of jerks, man! Oh my gosh, it kind of pissed me off. Listen, Zach pissed me off in the previous episode, but he didn't deserve this. You know what I mean? Nobody did. No. Yeah. Let me stop by here real quick and talk about since we're talking about his parents. Mentioned the famous Mindy. We heard more of Mindy in this episode, her voice and what happened to her and Harv, right?
Yes.
Zach's mom. She was mentioned multiple times now and mentioned in the other series. Here I thought she was just in Descendants because we talked about this before. She was credited as Mindy, same voice actor in Descendants. But come to find out, she was also in OG We're Alive, Chapter 19, Story of 3 of 3. Amy mentioned her in the cafeteria when Kelly and Victor overheard her say to meet the other people in front of Mindy's house. Now we don't know if that's the same Mindy, but you know, mention a Mindy.
The comment that you're reading also had another interesting note on that too. Is that since they mentioned just Mindy's house, that probably assumes that Harv is no longer with us. Yeah. So like I said, it might be a different Mindy because you know she didn't speak and we didn't hear if it was. What's her name? Elisa Elliott. Oh. You know what I mean? If it was Elisa Elliott. But nonetheless, there's a Mindy there. And I went back and listened to it. And yeah, they were talking about meeting up at Mindy's house. And Kelly asked, this is the moment when Kelly asked Amy, hey, have you seen Pegs? And you know, she lied.
That time?
Yeah, that point in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I know.
Right?
I know. Dude, I feel like Mindy's becoming a meta. Like, what is happening with this Mindy? You know, like, okay, so now you are an OG Descendants, and here, what is going on here, Casey? Is there something special that you're gonna bring to us eventually?
Mindy is behind it all. Mindy is behind it all.
I don't care about Mindy.
Yeah.
Where the heck is Delilah?
It's true. We're gonna talk about that. Now, what I can imagine though, in the very last episode of Descendants, right? We'll see about this character show up. Right? I don't know what will be her role, but she will show up and she will say, I've been there all along from the beginning. And then you will hear a flashback of, you know, like Mindy and OG We're Alive. We're going to meet up at Mindy's house. And then Mindy and, you know, Scouts on her. And then Mindy and Descendants like, oh, you've been there all along? What? That's all I could imagine is happening. I could be wrong, of course. All right. So they rewatched the security cam. So they headed to the security place. They're listening to them. Ruby said, I sounded like Mary Poppins. And then Frankie said, no, more like Hermione.
I love this. I love that moment. Like, do you know one other British girl?
Yeah. Which I mentioned in the first episode when the first time she showed up. I said, she sounded like Hermione. This is like a whole Harry Potter moment. So when he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, I said that. Yeah, that's right. But then again, I was like, just like her, who else do you know that is British? You know? Yeah.
Hurry! We need to get off this island before those things get here.
I know! Okay, just let me think. Is there anything really important I'm forgetting? Anything I'm missing?
Mindy?
Miss, what about... Oh! Pilar! Grab the wine in the button.
Oh, no.
I'm
sorry, Zach. Zach, why would they do that?
I believe I almost forgot that.
Okay, are you good? Can we go?
Yes, Harv. Harry Pilar, the chopper is about to leave. It's Excuse me, Mom. What about Saki? He's at the camp. Oh, right.
We don't have time for this. I'm sure he's fine.
Dang, Zach.
Call when we get back to LA, but we're going.
Your parents
Let's
would
go.
do that?
We leave in 5.
Shucks.
What if I stay here? Just in case. Oh, Pilar, you don't have to do that. It's not safe here. It's okay, Miss Mindy. I stay.
I was right.
You insist.
She stayed for you.
All this to the chopper before Harv leaves without me. You know he would.
So they rewinded the security cam and saw the parents packing the chopper.
Yo.
This is a terrible scene to watch. Like, imagine
Heartbreaking.
being the kid. And it's like, it's awful moment. Mindy was more worried about the expensive stuff she needed to grab and the drink, and Harv was just persistent about leaving, and only Pilar was worried about Zach to the point of staying. She's like, how about Zachy? And she said, I'll just stay. Mindy said, well, it's not safe in here, Pilar. Just go with us. He's like, no, I'm going to stay.
Well, what's worse than that is Harv was like, he's at camp. He'll be fine. We'll contact the camp when we get to the mainland.
Yeah, when we get to LA. Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Like, you're not even gonna like try to fly over in that direction and see.
Exactly.
And
At least, like, I understand you're like, we got to get out of here. But if you're in the air, like, are you really worried about those things jumping up at you?
Yeah.
What was even worse was the statement Mindy made when she's like, okay, is there anything else really important that I'm forgetting? The wine.
Yeah. That gives you a little bit of hope. Well, maybe she's going to say Zach.
Exactly.
not even close.
She didn't.
I was like, they're leaning too much into it. It was gonna go one of two ways. Either it was gonna be like a big touching thing for Zach, where he's like, "Oh, this whole time my parents did care," or they were going to snap him in half, and that's the way they went with it.
Yeah. And then Harv said that they're gonna get to LA. Now, we know what happened to LA, right? All I can think of is, what if they landed in LA airport? And we know what happened to LA airport. That's where Kalani and her kid got picked up by Latch and Scratch.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And that's probably how Harv got killed. I could imagine him getting killed there.
Yes.
He's the worst. These parents are the worst, man.
Mindy might have a redemption story. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll find out, hopefully, in the next couple seasons of whatever. But, she might have some kind of redemption.
Hopefully. He said
Maybe.
hopefully.
Maybe.
So Zach was really upset. Of course, we expected that. Zach left and went inside his room. They wanted to see him, and Blaine said to give him some space. They instead decided to get some food and clean up. Frankie was browsing the TV. Blaine found the security cam channel. Now, while they were scavenging for food, Ruby found some steak in the fridge. And Frankie found oyster crackers in a jar of pickles. Frankie said, but you wouldn't like that, Ruby. Ruby said, how did you know? Frankie said, just a lucky guess. Till Ruby said, Carmen told you, didn't she? Who else got a little bit of a... I know you didn't really have a connection with Carmen, but every time they mentioned Carmen, at least I put myself in Blaine's positions. Like, I was just with her yesterday. That kind of moment. It's like, I've just heard her voice.
I acknowledge that
whatever,
it's sad.
Whatever. You've been wanting to kill her from day one.
True. She had value. I admit that. But just because I just saw that value in her, doesn't mean I don't sympathize with Blaine in him losing the person that he was in love with.
Well, these guys still has it fresh while we have time to like move on from her. Well, just remember that it's still fresh that they she's
I
gone.
was moved on before they fell down the cliff. That was moved on.
How about Jacques?
Oh, Jacques, I'm still a little calm about Jacques.
Jacques, man, he was the MVP.
Amen.
Every time people tell me, every time people say bye, it reminded me of Jacques. Like, dang, Bison, that thing Bison, man.
No one acknowledged that.
Exactly. Way to go in creating that character, by the way.
Right? Exactly.
The true hero.
But the bummer is we will never see an interaction between Dot and Jacques. You know?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
That
god.
would be incredible.
Can you imagine a Dot and
Like
Jacques
Dot?
in the
Bison don't bark.
and that's like Dot. They understand each other. That is the secret. Yeah. And then on the next scene is Zachary watching Curtis's camcorder.
Hi there, viewers. I'm Curtis.
And I'm Delilah. What an amazing and beautiful day to be starting our next adventure.
Yep, the sun is shining. The summer ocean breeze is flowing through our hair. The salty sea spray splashing.
I think they get it.
Well, I'm just so excited to be heading off to Catalina Island for a week of eating, drinking, diving, hiking, and who knows what else.
Did you know that Catalina Island is only 22 miles off the coast of Southern California? It'll only take us an hour to get there.
That's because we're riding on the speedy Avalon Express. It's a 149-passenger high-speed monohull powered by low-emission engines and stabilized with Maritime Dynamics computer-operated ride control systems. And
Yep, it's a big, fast boat.
right, it'll drop us in the Avalon Harbor. From there, we'll check out the historic seaside town, the botanical gardens, the famous casino.
Which isn't actually a casino.
Really? Oh, too bad.
Casino is Italian for gathering place. And it's supposed to have an amazing view from the ballroom rotunda.
And there's so much more on the island to explore. I can't wait.
Me too.
So stay tuned. You never know where the adventure will take you when you
Travel with the
Taylors.
If you only knew what you were sailing into.
We're here at the Wrigley Botanical Garden, and it's truly a fascinating place. Look at all these amazing plants.
Wow, it says here Catalina Island is home to over 500 species of cacti and succulents.
No kidding. What are we gonna do?
This might not be a very important for a lot of people, but we've been backtracking on their travel and what's been happening to them. It's kind of exciting too every time they watch the camcorder because it's been being part of the whole thing.
Right.
So in the video, it sounded like they were on a ferry heading to Catalina Island, right?
Yes.
I love that Curtis was explaining everything and yapping too much, and you can feel like Delilah was either rolling her eyes or getting bored of Curtis' facts, so she was interrupting him.
Yeah, it was getting nerdy.
Yeah, let me stay here for a little bit about this whole Delilah thing. Okay, I have another theory about Delilah. Hear me out, guys. Here's my theory, and I actually noticed this on the latter part later on when they rewatched the video again. I noticed that Delilah was interrupting Curtis a lot, and not just interrupting her because she was bored, but I feel like she's annoyed with him. Cause when
It seemed like they were cutting each other off a lot.
yeah. So when, especially in the latter part, when Delilah said, "Oh, it's a ballroom," and then Curtis said, "Oh, so we can dance the night away, cha cha cha, cha cha cha," right?
We don't want to lose viewers.
Yeah, we know. No. Before that, she said, "Oh, good Lord. Oh, I mean, like she was slipping on how she's annoyed with him.
Feel about
you know
him.
what I mean? And now my theory is the reason why she stayed in the hotel because she's cheating on him. Like there's an unfaithfulness going on in this situation. Like she doesn't really like him anymore. Yeah.
I'm not really sure how we would.
Now that will
Cover
play
that.
out. That will play out when they see Delilah again. Like, because we all know they know Delilah, but Delilah doesn't know them.
Yeah.
She has a different type of headache.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when they see Delilah and Delilah is like with someone else, or Delilah is not talking about Curtis, not talking about other person.
I don't know. I don't think that. I think she's going to be devastated and wondering where Curtis is and
Right.
potentially frantic about that.
Yeah.
If we see her We better.
We better. And it's,
Even if it's for 1 second.
Yeah, she's better be alive. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, but it just seems like she's really annoyed with him. Like she doesn't like him, and her staying back in the hotel when he left is just an excuse for her not to be with him, kind of situation. Like she wasn't really that tired or that
I have enough of Curtis. You can go ahead. I want my alone time.
Yeah, that kind of situation. It's just a thought, and it's just a theory.
Maybe.
Yeah. You know, the beauty of making theories and thoughts, when we're wrong, it's fine. But when we're right, it's great.
That's why we throw every crazy one out there.
Yeah, like The Simpsons, you know what I mean? Like, of course, the amount of episodes they've done.
Over 30
some
years.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's one of them, or one or two of them are right. I mean, it's going to happen. They do a lot, you know? It's creepy, though, when it's right.
Yeah.
Okay. In the next clip, they are in the same place where they currently reside. Then Zach said, "What are we going to do?" and cried. Blaine had just gotten done showering and told Frankie that it was his turn. Frankie smelled himself and said, "Ugh, I smell." Ruby said, "Yeah, I know."
I'm done, Frankie. You're up next for the shower.
Finally. Oh, I smell. Yeah, I know. Hey, kidding. Go and get in the shower then.
It has like 15 different sprayers. I've never been so clean in my life. Down the hall, the big bedroom on the left.
See you in a few.
This part reminded me of Michael and Pegs almost saying the same thing. Remember that?
Yup.
Yeah.
Military base or whatever.
Yeah,
I do remember that one, yeah.
Yeah. And then Michael said, "Ooh, I stink. All I'm saying is, I'm glad there's a bonfire." And then Michael said, "Do I smell that bad?" "I'm kidding." "Oh, okay. No, but seriously, you stink." That whole scenario.
Yeah. Well, she was like, he said, "Don't take offense to it. We all do."
Yeah. That part really reminds me of it. And then wasn't Frankie that left? But it just ended up being Blaine and
Frankie
Ruby.
went. It was his turn to go take a shower.
That's right. And then they took a look at his eye, and he might not be able to see again.
Yeah, he might be blind.
He might go blind.
On his left eye, right? Just his left eye.
Yeah.
Right, his right eye.
Just right eye. Because
it's his dominant eye.
Yeah, Buffalo Bill is the left eye.
Buffalo Bill is left eye.
Yep.
That's why we figured that it wasn't him.
There's a theory about that on Facebook page that Blaine might be Buffalo Bill because of the eye. I didn't want to say anything. It's like, you guys are enjoying your life. I don't want to be that guy.
To them, I'm like, we already talked about that. And we figured that out quick.
But to us, I can be that because we're having conversation. But there's like 5-7 people talking about, "Oh yeah, that's right, might be Buffalo Bill because of the eye." I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away.
It's funny that
dude, I would have ruined that in a heartbeat.
I was like, it's okay.
Yeah, no one has thought to go back and look at the picture. You did.
I did. Well, because if you were right, I will backtrack. It's like, dude, you're right. And I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Should be.
This is what Ruby impressed on Frankie in their short conversation about, he might go blind because it's awful. Blaine went and talked to Zach. Zach yelled at him. Go ahead.
Before.
Yeah.
Their conversation between Ruby and Blaine was quick. That boy came out fast. He said, "You're done already?" I was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to waste water."
Yeah.
In my head, I was like,
4-minute shower.
Yeah.
Bro, it's the end of the world. When's the next time you're gonna take a shower?
Yeah,
That's what was going in my head.
I'm not surprised. That's a kid. That's like an 8-year-old. They're like, said, screw water.
They have half the amount of body we do, so
yeah. No,
they're also like, you have to freaking bribe them into taking my bath.
Yeah,
in my head, when Ruby said that you're done already, I was like, oh, I need to train this boy how to take a good shower.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I feel you with the students, because being a middle school director, I know they don't take a shower.
I know that very well.
I can highly say this, right, with all my heart, that the only reason why he took a shower because Ruby's there. If Ruby is not in there,
absolutely,
he won't take a shower. That dude is not going to take a shower.
There are people that I have to, dude, you're ripe. Go take a shower.
Yeah,
get clean.
I kid you not, I never knew how bad students smell until I work around them.
Yeah.
Because I kid you, and back in California,
and even in the Philippines. You know what I mean?
Well, in the Philippines, we sweat a lot. It's
Yeah,
just
so we
sweating.
take a shower every day.
Right. But in California, I hardly smell anybody like that. Maybe it's because we have or I'm around my own people because we have disciplined moms. Like when we come home, she makes sure that we be clean or we get the whooping.
Yeah.
And none of us want the whooping for sure. But with other people, in school, I never smelled anyone like that. It's like, how can students?
I think it's more of a common thing now than it was even when we were.
No, but I think it's because of the climate too. Like depending on the state, because in winter you can get away not taking a shower maybe a day or two. You know what I mean? Because it's winter, it's cold. You don't sweat a lot. You know what I mean? But if you're like in the coast, you're gonna sweat a lot. So you need to take a shower.
Especially all the humidity and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's also the generation too.
Oh, absolutely.
There's that too.
Absolutely.
I think now they just don't care.
Yeah.
And they don't know what deodorant is.
What is that? Yeah. But he did take a shower. I love when he said, what did he say? Be careful with the
lower
ones that sneak up on you.
Yeah. I can imagine. How is that?
What kind of shower is this?
I know.
I'm like,
Oh, it's one of those expensive ones that has like 20 heads.
Like the full body, and then he has to rain.
Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome.
but the part where she sneaks up on you, I was like,
yeah, you're like a car wash, bro. You're just spinning.
Dude,
spinning
can
around.
you imagine going into one of those though? Like I've always wanted to go into one of those that like shot you from every direction. You just sit there and turn it on high, and you're just like
with the earplug, of course, because you don't want water in your ears. But you're just spinning, It blows soap, shampoo, and you're just there.
you know what? I guess it makes sense why he took a quick shower because it's shooting all over. All he has is turn around.
he's spinning around like a top the whole time.
Nah, that's enough.
Yeah. But also as an 8-year-old, if there's amount of water coming out, I'll play.
I know, for real.
This is so much fun.
It's like, wow, this is cool.
I'm 37 and I still play in
Yeah, exactly.
with the water in the shower.
Do you guys still do this? I think this is a guy thing. When you take a shower, you do this. And you
Oh
put
yeah,
water.
Every time.
Definitely, every time, bro.
Every time. Hey.
I'm gonna hit that.
That's a guy thing, right, Ace?
Absolutely.
No. Do you do that, Ace?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was gonna say either that or the little bear, the little water.
The water bending.
Oh my god. Yeah, a lot of time like I'll
Everything.
just like I'll be just standing in the shower with like my arms like crossed or whatever, and so they'll end up pooling, and then I just drop it, and then I let it pool.
Yes.
It's so cool.
And then I
Fill
drop it.
up your arms. You have to like, it starts dripping, and you're like, no, come back.
Come back. You try to like seal the cracks.
Or you cup it, you cup it, and then you just drop, like make a huge splash.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
Oh, so satisfying. Oh, this is great.
We're gonna have so much judgment when this gets posted.
Oh, what I think is what's gonna happen is all the guys are like, yeah, I do that too.
I believe it. I believe it.
All right, if you're a male and you are watching this, please confirm whether or not you do this in the shower.
Are we freaks? Or is it a real thing?
No,
Is it just the 4 of us in this entire world, or?
And then you put your chest together so you make a whole lump. Like, oh, this is great. Yeah, all the time. Anyway, yeah, that's
Anyways.
yeah.
We're alive.
Yeah, I know. Like, he should have done that. That's something that Frankie should have done.
That's when we learned it was when we were.
He should have
8.
had a little bit of fun in there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But I think
He wanted to get back and see Ruby.
I think Ruby trumps everything. Though.
Either that, or he wanted to get out so Ruby could go take a shower because he's like, she smells too.
Oh shit! Let's go. All right. Okay. So Blaine went and talked to Zach. Wait, what happened to my notes?
The end of the episode is.
So, hold on. Sorry, I did this in Google Drive. And then I transferred it to my notes. So I was looking at Google Drive. So thank God. Okay. All right. So it's still here.
So did you delete it in Google Drive?
No. Oh, yeah. No, because I finished it in my notes, not in the Google Drive.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay. Sorry.
Screenshot that.
I'm like, I freaked out, bro. I'm not even kidding.
I know you're mad at me, but it's not my fault your parents bailed without you.
No, but it's not like you haven't done your share of bailing too.
We left that night because I wouldn't bail on Carmen.
You risked all of us for her.
Yeah, because we didn't know for sure.
But we did! You just didn't want to believe it!
Jeez, Zach, why won't you let this go?
You never leave a scout behind. It's one of the rules.
We're living through an actual zombie apocalypse or whatever this is. I don't think the scout rules apply anymore.
They always apply. They've gotten us this far.
But now what? What do they say now, huh? Get to Avalon, get to Avalon. That's all you've been blabbing on about this whole time. Well, we're here, aren't we? So what next?
I don't think I'm
You got an answer for everything, right? Well, what are we gonna do now, Brainiac?
I don't know.
Zach yelled at him and still hasn't moved on from the abandoning issue.
Yeah.
This doubled down. Like I got slightly annoyed, but also I understood because now he doubled down on this whole abandoning thing with, from his parents. He told Blaine that he was just in denial about Carmen's death. But if you think about it though, being Zach, knowing Zach how pragmatic he is and how smart he is, and knowing his parents, he was also in denial about his parents. Like what's the possibility? Because he knows his parents, they're jerks, right? The possibility of his parents leaving him is highly possible.
I think he was in denial up until they watched it, and I think at that point he was just heartbroken.
Yeah, because even with the
Me too, kid. Me too.
yeah, because even with the sound, like we talked about in previous episode. Oh yeah, it's mom. Leaving bottles everywhere. Like you can tell that this dude he knows his parents are not here.
Yep. Even the way he said, like, "Oh, that's so mom."
Yeah.
You're like, she ain't that, bro.
Yeah. I'm glad that Blaine didn't use that against him. Because the way he was pushing when they were at the airport, like, let's just go to Avalon. Well, I think he kind of did. He
did for like that split second.
Yeah, for that split second.
He doubled down, but on a different twist.
Right.
Then he started to use it as a positive thing, not the attack.
Yeah.
Because he did attack him with it, which is kind of the thing that broke him in the end.
Yeah. Well, because you can still tell that Blaine, the friendship that he had with Zach, it still weighs more than his feelings towards Carmen. Because if you think about it, someone is saying crap about your girl if your relationship is heavier than the friendship. What is that saying nowadays? It's bros before hoes kind of situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that plays out with him. Because if you think about it, if this is your girl and your bro or anybody saying crap about your girl, you will like be super mad. You know what I mean? Like, don't talk to her like that, especially if she's dead. You know what I mean? But Blaine's still understanding towards Zach.
Yeah.
Because he would have just used that. Like, stop it, shut up, stop talking saying something bad about her.
Honestly, like after all this, Zach's like freak out makes more sense. And because it kind of seems like the reason that he got so mad about being abandoned by Blaine is because he knew that this was going to be the outcome. And he's like, he can't take it twice. So it's it seems like that. I don't know for sure, but like, it really seemed like he's trying to deny. He's like, well, Blaine's not going to leave me, or no one's going to leave me. Like, nobody's going to abandon me in this situation. I'm going to have everybody.
Yeah.
And he got abandoned by his best friend,
right?
Like brother,
right?
And then he was abandoned by his parents.
Yeah, and also, like what you said, because it's his parents already. He already knows, probably has an idea that his parents will abandon him, but the only person that he knows for sure will never abandon him, it will be Blaine, and he did what he did.
Which put his whole thought process into question.
Yeah. Blaine told Zach that getting to Avalon, that's all you have been babbling about. Now we are here. What now, Brainiac? That put him in place. It's like, you've been pushing us to go to Avalon. We've been trying to, this is the whole plan from the get. Now that we're here and we know what happened, what are we going to do now? Zach said, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. And this is when Zach poured out his heart about his parents and what they did and they didn't do. And we can tell that he's like we don't know if he has siblings, right? That was never mentioned.
No.
Who was Zach?
Zach.
I think they say he's an only child.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Being like
I believe they confirmed that in like one of the first episodes.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like I might say he's like a trophy kid for his parents. Like, oh, we're keeping him around because he's our kid. That's about it. There's nothing important there. Listen, what happened to Zach? I have this in my notes. Listen, what happened to Zach sucks. Don't get me wrong, but the uncertainty of knowing what happened with the rest of their parents also sucks. Like, Zach was telling them, my parents gone, my parents abandoned me, but none of the other kids said, well, we don't know what happened to our parents too. Like in front of Zach. It's like, dude, this is terrible. But at least you've seen your parents left. We didn't see. We don't know if our parents still alive. You have no idea. You know,
Yeah.
they addressed this
You
a little
know-
bit. Yeah.
You know your parents made it to stage 2.
Yeah.
We don't know if our parents are still on stage 1. Like,
Right. Yeah. So they kind of mentioned this later on, but more of a melodramatic situation around them. But I would have said that, you know, if he's saying, "Oh, my parents is this, my parents is that." It's like, yeah, bro, I get that. It sucks, but you don't have to put it on me. I don't know where my parents is. I don't even know if they're still alive, whether I like him or not. I mean, yeah. But all I can say is great performance between Blaine and Zach. That was a great
Right.
conversation
That was a good
between
scene.
the two of them. Yeah, that was great.
It was so strong.
Yeah. Speaking of Zach, he commented in our previous podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Dylan Rich. I'm gonna read what he said. So he said, "Hey, I play Zach in the series. You guys got me laughing. I can't unhear young Ben Shapiro now. Just know Zach has a big heart. You guys are awesome." And then Darklight commented and said, "I like what you did to this role, especially in this episode. You really foreshadow Zach's
Abandonment.
Yes, that one. Abandonment issue." And then he responded back, "Thank you. I was super nervous because I never done voiceover work before. So this was my first project ever. I also made the voice.
Oh, wow.
I also made the voice based off inspiration from Double D from the show Ed, Ed and Eddie."
Classic.
I
No
know,
way.
Exactly. Isn't that crazy? And then he said that, "But I'm happy you liked it. Also, fun fact, I auditioned for Pierce originally." Yeah.
Aren't you glad you didn't get him?
I know.
Right?
But whoever played Pierce did a great job too.
He did.
Like, it was
He
so
did.
perfect. Yeah, it's great.
Not gonna lie, I still miss Lucas.
Dude, he would have been the perfect comic relief in this whole
Yeah.
thing.
He would have been great.
He would have been
Just that
great.
little high-pitched voice.
I can imagine him during this whole time. He's like, "Hey guys, you remember from this one anime that I've seen? This is what they did. This is what we should do." You know, I can.
Yeah,
imagine
he
him
will be
doing
the
that.
MVP.
Yeah, because that will be us. That will be us. You know?
I totally pictured him as like this short, little, tiny kid. Even though I see Zach is kind of that way also, or Frankie.
Yeah.
Like even smaller with like big old glasses and the spiked hair kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's how I saw him.
I know who I
Having,
can
like,
imagine.
kind of that like Stuart Little vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who I can
Wait,
imagine.
Stuart Little. Stuart Little's a mouse.
Or not, I mean the kid from it. I can't remember the kid from
Oh,
it
the
right
kid
now.
from Stuart Little. Yeah.
Okay.
Who I can imagine actually, either Lucas or Zach, is Gabe, your nephew.
When he was little,
Yeah, when he was little.
I could see that.
That's what I can.
I could see Frankie being that.
Yeah. Okay,
Just
so
with a lisp.
all right. Then they heard the noise coming from Ruby and Frankie. They rushed to see them. So there's a reconciliation first, you know, between the two of them. They're great. They're awesome. They hug. It's great.
Had a nice little moment.
Yeah, it's all flowers and dandelions. That's the same thing. Then they heard the noise. They rushed to see them. And it turned out it was Pilar. Pilar is making noises. She's trying to get inside, right? Zach said that she might be hungry. This is awesome.
Well, we need to do something. Get her away from the house.
How are we gonna do that?
Lure her away somehow?
She might be hungry.
Oh, yeah. How long has she been up here alone?
The infected are still living beings, as far as I can tell. They need something to keep going.
We can try that.
But with what? What are they even like besides people? Ugh, gross, Franklin. What? They do.
That gives me an idea.
Zach said that she might be hungry, and he said that infected are still living being, as far as I can tell. Someone commented this on the group, and we already talked about this, that the way they caught on to everything is so fast compared to the OG Were Alive.
Yep.
And
So-
yeah, go ahead.
I've been thinking about this a lot, and like there's a couple things that are different. One kids will tend to be able to put things together faster. They're a lot faster at learning puzzles and learning things like that. But then they're also the first people to see people that they immediately care about on a first-hand basis turn from the beginning and not from any kind of mutation. because they're the only ones that have like that bond that they're seeing turn right in front of them on day one, instead of it being 6 months down the line and then they're starting to lose some of the closer people like they do in the story Survival. Like, yeah, they lose a couple people, but here's the thing. They might have learned a couple of these things, like if they saved Lizzie's boyfriend. Yeah. Like, they saved Tom, like, at that beginning part, or Todd at that beginning part.
Yeah.
They might have learned, like, a couple of the minor things.
Yeah. Or Angel's girl,
Yeah.
Like, I've seen all of that.
Because, like, here's the thing, like, we don't know if Angel's girl was trying to attack him necessarily right off the rip. So it's like, there are all these things that we assumed, and the characters could have assumed, that could have all been different. Because, like, what if Angel's girlfriend was kind of doing something like what Pilar was doing, like, just trying to see them? Yeah.
Because, she loves Angel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she probably like recognized Angel. Same thing with what happened to the Romeo and Juliet. You're right. Yeah. So we never had that moment with anybody. With Tommy a little bit, but Tommy tried to leave. You know what I mean? Tried to escape.
But that's exactly it. Is Tommy tried to leave. He didn't just
attack them.
Latch at like the nearest person. Like he was literally getting bathed by Kelly.
Yeah.
Literally like contact. He could have done whatever he wanted.
Right. Yeah. I feel like, it's his moment of when he turned infected. It's like, I'm dangerous, so I need to get out of here. I'm dangerous for all of them, not just for me, but I'm dangerous for all of them because I can attack
like his
them.
Only thought is, I can't hurt.
Yeah.
I can't hurt.
So I gotta get out of here. Yeah. The same thing with Randy, because we don't know, even though Michael left, he didn't open. No, I'm talking about like at that moment when he turned, Michael left and then Randy was turning.
I think even after Randy was getting orders, that Randy's last thought was like hatred towards Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I thought that was, like, I think even that lines up with everything.
Right, but they didn't connect it, of course. They just thought,
of course,
they just thought he's infected.
He's infected and he's being commanded.
Like, right.
That's
so in this line, right? In this line, when Zach said, he said, infected are still living being, as far as I can tell. This gives me a thought connected to what Carmen said and Ruby from, I think, episode 1 or episode 2, when they saw Curtis and they're about to kill him, and they said, "Oh, it's infected. There must be a cure." So, because if they're living being and they're not undead, what if they're still people, and we're just killing infected people? I mean, granted, they're gonna kill us,
Like
so
I Am Legend.
Right.
Yeah, so it's self-defense. Yeah, so it's like a kind of an I Am Legend moment.
Ooh.
Like there's a cure, and these people that we're killing are still people. They're not really dead.
I wonder if there's going to be a title of an episode called The Cure.
The Cure. Ooh, yeah.
I'm very.
And then we find out it's just a big nuke.
Yeah.
I have the answer.
Yeah, nuke 'em.
Can't get infected
I don't know,
if there's
though.
no one to infect.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if
That's the
Tanya,
Fallout series
because she's the one that does the study. She was the one that she shared all her studies about. Didn't she say that it affected them to a molecular level? Like, is there a way to change all that to that very down?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
because it changed the whole skin, the eye, all that.
Well, because if it can change, if the infection can change you in a molecular basis, you can still change that molecular basis because there's a change happen first. You know what I mean?
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to.
It's like there's a form of, it reminded me, there's a form of a tick that when it bites you, it changes your taste buds. Yeah, your DNA.
Your taste buds?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it changed your taste buds. So you start hating certain food.
I need that.
Don't you crave green food that you're allergic to? Like highly allergic? Like you could die eating any greens. Like we've witnessed it.
I just want mint.
Huh?
I just want mint.
You just want mint?
I want that minty fresh.
Yeah. Even processed mint you can have it?
I can't have anything with actual mint.
Oh wow. Oof. That sucks. Ugh. Okay. So Frankie said, Frankie said, "What do they even like besides people?" Ruby said, "Ew." They decided to give her steak, gross steak, and then Ruby said, "Definitely past its prime." I enjoyed that so much. No, nothing. Come on, that was hilarious. That was funny from Ruby.
I just love your enthusiasm on it. And so
It was hilarious.
Dead face over here, and we're just.
You know what?
All right.
You know what's I love the joke, but I'm more excited that I get to say the joke in our pod.
I'm sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Yeah, exactly. So Blaine said to start lining up the pieces so we could lead Pilar outside the front gate. You can hear Frankie saying, and then while they're lining it up, you can hear Frankie say, "Yuck. Yuck."
Yep. I wrote that in my notes like every single second.
Every time he drops it, yuck. Yuck. Now Zach started talking to Pilar. Bro, this is huge. This moment.
Bro.
Okay. Here we go. Pilar. Oh, Pilar.
She hugged him.
Pilar, it's okay. It's me. It's Zachy. You're going to be okay. Here, I bet you're hungry. It's steak. It won't be as good as when you make it, but go ahead. Give it a try.
Zach, back up.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, there's more.
She's going for it.
Zach, it worked. Get over here.
Coming.
This is the second time, only the second time we've heard this, right?
Were they
Besides Ink, this is the second time. Zach started talking to Pilar, and Pilar seems to saying Zach.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Twice. Yes.
I was
Trying so hard. She
tripping.
goes, Zach.
See, Ink talked clearly though.
Say it.
Yeah. Well, not as clear as a human being, but you know.
He
Like,
talked
say a
pretty
full
quick.
word.
Well, Buffalo Bill talked also.
No, we talked to Casey, and that is supposed to be something that we will never understand. That's a zombie talk.
So it is a language, but
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's a zombie talk. So that's what Casey confirmed it.
I know, just
Yeah.
It's the same talk that like
some things he says.
Datu was starting to
Yes.
translate a little bit.
Yeah, so Datu understood it after he got bit.
Wait, so you're telling me that Casey isn't going to create his own language to fill out this this show?
Everybody,
Come on.
because we thought about the same
There's the
thing.
full Lord of the Rings effect.
Because we thought about the same thing when we were shooting the Descendants in that episode of Buffalo Bill. We were trying to figure out, it's like, what did he say? I feel like he was saying something. It was so clear.
I thought he was.
You know, and everybody commenting. And then when we interviewed Casey, he said, "No, that's not a language. That's not a language that we will understand." Yeah.
But apparently Nick would know.
Yeah, I know, right? Right. That's still
Right.
another thing that we need to figure out. Like, how do you know this? You know what I mean? Maybe the immunity. I don't know. But this is huge for Pilar to say Zach, because that's clear as day. You know, that's not a zombie language. That's clear as day when she said it twice. Zach. Yeah, like not that fast, but she was saying it.
I heard the za a lot, like the za.
Yeah,
za,
yeah.
Like trying to fight through it. I guess I didn't catch the last part of finishing the name, but I definitely heard Pilar like fighting to say it.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on.
You know,
Give us like a super, just like clear, crisp one.
Her infected sound effects, Loki just reminds me of like a little cute chihuahua.
Yeah. Why? Because she's Mexican?
I knew you were gonna pull that up.
Wakka.
Oh, come on.
I just thought it was an adorable sound effect. Like, that's awesome. But not because she's Mexican, bro.
Or Latina. I don't know if she's Mexican, but she's definitely Latina. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely Latina.
Definitely.
Even the voice actor is Latino. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell by the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Pilar.
Pilar. Yeah. No, she's Irish.
Not Pilar. The actor's name.
Oh my god.
Pilar is too. I mean, don't get me wrong.
True,
Pilar
it's
is
true.
Too. Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah. Now Pilar
I'm not
got.
gonna say you're wrong. You're just not right.
Yeah. Pilar got out, and they started to close the gate. At first, when I listened to this without knowing what happened in the latter part, when they were closing the gate, it was loud.
Yeah.
And I was like, somebody's going to hear that. Like as soon as I said that, a few seconds later,
Now!
We did it!
That went surprisingly well. Good job, Zach. Told you, smartest one of us.
This? No, this is just.
What? What was that? Over there, across the harbor, on the ridge. What is it?
Holy sh!
What?
Take the spyglass. Look.
There's so many of them. Oh my god.
The horde has arrived.
yeah.
I was low-key hoping that, like, what is his name?
Joe?
Joe, thank you. I was thinking Bob. I'm like, that's not it. Joe was like right around the corner from them in that moment, and I was like, and then they're like, oh, he's on the other side of the harbor. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. But it was loud.
It was.
Yeah, it was loud. And it's, I mean, I said it, it's probably not because of the gate, but because he's there. Question to you guys. Question. So we know Zombie Joe is traveling with a pack, like a lot of zombies, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Do we think?
Yeah, like every zombie on the island.
Yeah. Do we think the little girl zombies with him?
Yes.
That's all I can
Yes.
think of. Like
He's holding her hand.
Don't do that to me.
Yo,
That's
that is
terrifying.
creepy.
yeah.
That
I
is so
know.
creepy.
I know, especially if he's a behemoth.
Yeah, not just holding his hand. What if he's like holding the collar or the hem of his shirt? Like a little girl. I mean, walking.
Nah, dude, I'm out.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so creepy.
Or sitting on like
Sitting on his shoulder?
I was thinking the same thing.
Like
I was
that.
thinking that. I was like, oh
from
man.
BioShock.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a girl.
What were those things called in BioShock?
I don't know, like a little girl. I don't know.
Well, it was
Big
little
daddies
girl,
or
and weren't those
whatever?
daddies?
Big Daddy.
Big daddies.
Yeah, Big Daddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I
She's
can
the
think
true leader. She's the true leader.
Yeah, she is. She is. That's why she was off by herself originally. Is she's like, you know what? I'm comfortable. I know my place. I'm in charge here.
I'm scouting. That's it.
Yeah. I have a comment here from Pizzo. It's Donovan. I think from Facebook group. He said that I think Joe is leading the horde to Avalon because of his girlfriend, Zoe. Zoe's in there. In the first episode, he was worried because he heard that there was a problem there and he couldn't get in contact with her. Another great episode, by the way. That's what he said. There's another comment that said the reason why Joe is hoarding all of these infected because he is a leader. So by default, he's grouping these people, and also he wants to get the people out of the island because it's not safe. So maybe he's instinctually, I'm trying to get all of these, whether they're infected or people, to get out of the island. So a rescue mission. That's what he's doing. But I mean, he's a zombie. He's definitely attacking them, eating people.
Yeah.
So you know how Pilar is going, responding to the call?
Yeah.
In my thought, what we thought about Joe, it's going to be Pilar.
Oh,
like
yeah,
when
yeah.
she's noticed that they're gonna go down,
yeah,
Pilar will remember Zach is in trouble or something like that.
So she
she'll be
attacking them.
She'll be the good.
Interesting.
She'll be the good infected.
Yeah, she's attacking them.
I'm wondering if the noise that he's making is just, it's like he's not intentionally calling the horde. He is like, with his growling and his yelling, he's like, the other people are recognizing him as an alpha, and so they're instinctively falling in line because they hear the alpha.
Right.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Well, they did say they're
interesting.
animal-like, so makes sense.
Yeah.
He's
What if
leading
he's
the pack.
yelling Zoe? Zoe!
And they're all coming. He's like, no, not you.
Yeah.
Did they take a huge shortcut?
Who?
The main group.
The group? I mean, by driving a vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Yes.
because I would assume. Okay.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, how did they beat them by like half a day? I'm like, oh, because they had a van that they drove all night.
Yeah.
And off trail. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
They're also probably the horde is probably traveling to different locations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably like bouncing between a few things.
Yeah, Joe is just zombie. Joe is just remembering.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, follow me. You got to go over here, and then go over there.
Yeah, because I don't think they're traveling the Catalina Trail. I think they're going to different areas.
If they're following sound or anything like that, then yeah, they're definitely probably trying to hit. Not trying to, but instinctively hitting all the places.
Right. And of course, they didn't see the ranch because it's hidden ranch, you know?
Yeah.
So they won't be able to see it.
Well, yeah, that was the opposite direction, which means the horde probably went to the north side of the island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the ranch was on the southwest side? It was southwest from the airport.
The Avalon, yep. Yeah.
So you think then they cross path by accident when they hit the airport?
The airport, yeah.
Yeah, they were both around the airport, and I think by them turning on the old truck, that's what they signified them that there was activity there.
Yeah.
Because they respond to sound.
Now, we're still not sure the reason why they're gathering together and where they're going. So whether they're hunting the kids, we don't know. You know what I mean?
If they are actually hunting the kids, that would be so cool.
If it's kind of coincidental.
Yeah, coincidental. They're heading somewhere.
Blah.
You know, they're looking for we said this from the previous episode. They're probably hunting the director. You abandoned us in the camp, and now we're all turned. Now we're gonna get back at you. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah. Zombie alarm stopped eating and went after the sound. Zach said even for her, there were things that she wouldn't resist. And said bye to her. They went back inside and they tried to come up with a plan. Frankie said, "Are we gonna go home alone? Are we gonna go home alone or Two Towers?"
I love how they did the whole movie reference here.
That was cool. Speaking of that, I just remembered what we were talking about earlier that you guys said I would remember. So okay. It's later though.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
We're good.
I was like, oh, thanks a lot.
Sorry.
Now remember it, okay? I don't want
Hopefully
you to lose the thought.
Hopefully I will.
Okay, good. So yeah, this is awesome. This is when so we talked about this from the first episode, and the difference between Zach and Frankie. Zach is very pragmatic. He was the one who's saying like, situational. This is what's gonna happen. He's negative because he knows what's about to happen, and they're not gonna win. You know, and any of that. Like, we're not gonna do that because we know we're gonna lose. But Frankie, on the other hand, he's like looking at everything in a general scope. Like, okay, there's a possibility for this, but how are we gonna apply this? Are we gonna go home alone or Two Towers? Ruby's the only one that's a little bit lost. Like, what? And then as soon as Frankie started saying, Blaine and Zach caught on. Are we gonna stay here and fortify the place, or are we gonna attack them? And then, just like in Two Towers,
they made other references that I couldn't catch. Did you guys catch that?
Oh, no. About which ones? They said, or is it more like Legolas at Helm's Deep? And he's like, no, we're more like Merry and Pippin against Isengard.
Yeah, that was
that's from the movies.
Yeah, that was Frodo's friends.
Yeah.
The other two guys.
It was the hobbits that stayed with the Fellowship and didn't go.
The hobbits are going to Isengard.
Yes,
that makes sense. It's been a minute. I haven't.
So when he said we fortify the place, the house, and be ready or bring the fight to them, dude, this is OG We're Alive in the tower. They home alone the tower, and then the end of it. They Two Towers the whole fight. They went in the colony and kicked them all out.
Actually,
they did the same thing.
Even
in
more so, because what Ruby suggests is, how about we Jurassic Park it?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was awesome. She's like, I watch movies too.
I thought that was pretty
But they also Jurassic Park in OG also, because they after the war they helicopter out of there.
Oh, nice.
I was trying to think the Jurassic Park, but that was 3 different wars in OG We're Alive.
Yeah.
Those the 3 main wars, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's
Dude.
right.
Well, the Jurassic Park one and the Home Alone one were kind of the same war.
No, because the Home Alone is the first season, the end of first season. Because remember, there's two times they had a war.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
the first is the not a war.
The Maulers.
The first is the pot, right?
Yeah, the pot and the Maulers.
Yeah.
No, the pot was not the Maulers. The pot Yeah.
The pot was the war.
Yeah.
Or sorry,
Yeah.
the pot was them getting attacked by infected.
By infected.
The first war
was the Maulers.
the Maulers showing up on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
That's
when
right.
when they were drinking.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
And then the second war is when they're trying to save Lizzie.
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's right.
In the
Yes.
colony, no?
Yeah, no. They're trying to save
the
Lizzie,
process-
and then Kalani.
they go to
that's
the
right.
golf course.
Yes.
And that's when Kalani's daughter gets shot.
That's right.
And then they realize, all the best guys are out of the tower, so they're attacking the tower.
Yeah. And then they get a helicopter and they come
They
back
knew we
and
said all
Yep,
the best
yep.
guys here. Yeah.
And then Kalani, killed himself, suicide bomb.
Did he kill himself along with people in it? No.
You can say yeah, because he's the reason why the whole tower start collapsing, because it's the whole explosion. Yeah, so you can say then yeah, technically speaking.
He tried to
He
do a good
basically
deed.
said, "I'm gonna save the best of us, and sorry for the rest of us."
Right. So you're right. Oh shoot.
He did it again.
cancel me? Come on.
That's insane.
So you're right. All three of those instances that they mentioned happened in OG We're Alive.
That's
Nice.
funny.
Yeah, that was great. Dude, that makes me so
Was
happy.
that intentional, Casey?
I know, right? Casey will be sitting there and was like, "Oh my gosh, they're right." Yeah.
I don't see how we could take the fight to them. There are so many infected, and we're just 4 kids.
So then our best bet is probably to wait it out here.
But I guess if we have to hide out somewhere, your house is the nicest place to be, Zach.
Yeah, it's pretty cush. And it has the gate and the security system already.
As great as it is, won't we just be waiting for someone to rescue us? And how long could that take?
Who knows? A week, a month, a year, and never?
We can't count on anyone to rescue us from camp, or 2 harbors, or the ranch, or the airport.
We can't count on anyone anymore.
So they evaluated the situation. There's no way they can beat them. Also, and they can't rely on anybody. So they can they can't do neither of them. So Ruby said, "How about Jurassic Park and Escape the Island?" I watch movies too. Yeah.
Isn't this the point where Frankie's like,
She's so cool.
yeah, he was
in
like,
my
this
head, I was
girl's
like, man,
cool. And I'm
he's
like,
such a
that's so
simp.
I
awesome.
know. She's so cool. That's what he said under his breath. He's so
You
cool.
almost couldn't hear it, but
I know.
Yep.
And then while Zach was being pragmatic, Frankie started saying the most epic, powerful, heavy monologue thus far. And I wrote it all
Yep.
down. He said, "Yeah, okay, we are just kids, but also we are the only one who made it this far. No adult did that. We did that. We trekked across the entire island by ourselves." Blaine said, "We battled zombies." Ruby said, "We lost and buried our friends." And then Frankie continued, "We've done far more in the past week than most people in their entire lives, and have everyone on this island. We're alive."
You go, Franklin.
Yo, when he said the line, I was like,
I
"Let's go!"
know. He said, "We're
Nice.
alive, dude.
Nice.
Let's go."
You go, Franklin.
I know.
That
go,
line's
boy.
got power, dude.
Yes, yes. Because besides the OG We're Alive, when they made the sign, I think this is the next time it was says We're Alive in the entire series.
I think I've heard it before.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's been said once or twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been once or twice.
Yeah, but this one is so impactful. Yeah, We're Alive. And then they decided to, so they're gonna rest. Zach said, "I'm gonna go in my room," and they said that's a
Yeah.
bad idea. Let's just stay here. And then Frankie's so enthused again
Oh,
because he
for
gets
real.
to stay with Ruby.
He got a little too excited there. Boy got a little too excited.
Yeah. I mean, well, sure. And then I guess, and then Blaine convinced Zach that just like the old days, let's build a fort. And they build a fort. Of course, I love this because there are a lot of moments where these are. I can view them as an adult with all the decisions that they're making, but there's some few moments like the food fight and things like that where it just reminds you that they're still kids.
Yeah.
They have more fun than the OG Were Alive.
Oh, yes, they did.
You know what I mean? And they're having so much fun here.
So-
Build a fort.
I still think building a fort's still cool.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
at this point is what I was trying to remember. And if you guys watched the TV show Community?
Yes.
Yes, I totally pictured
Yes.
it as the episode where they build a pillow fort across the entire floor, dorm floor, or something like that. And it's
That's
huge.
wild.
Like it has
I've
the
seen clips
whole
of that.
the whole
Yeah.
fort has like different sections.
Yes.
Oh, that
Like-
is awesome.
Like that.
And they
are-
had
yeah.
a clan war. Like it's ridiculous. It's big.
Great.
Yeah.
That's such a great episode.
Yeah.
So
and then when they're traveling, they're crawling on their knees because it's so it's a low fort.
Yep, through everywhere. And then what's funny is at the very end of it, they're like, it's time. It's
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And they have one like part where it's like a bunch of sheets tied together.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just pull one sheet and the whole thing collapses.
Collapse, yeah.
It is so
It
cool.
was great. It was great.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You have to watch that episode.
Oh, it was amazing.
I haven't
She just
seen the
watched
show
the
yet.
entire show
Yeah,
because there's so
yeah.
much good.
I know,
The
I know.
paintball wars, hilarious.
Twice.
Oh, that's so
Paintball
fun.
wars
At
twice.
least twice.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
they end up just spending an entire episode just destroying the campus for paintball wars.
Yeah.
That is
it was
awesome.
great. It was great.
That is awesome.
Ooh, lovely. Soft blankets.
That's 900 thread count Peruvian silk right there.
How do you know that?
I'm more than just a pretty face.
Speaking of, I made you this.
An eye patch?
Figured it would be cooler than the bandage. Keep it protected, just in case.
Oh, it's awesome. How do I look?
Like a real pirate.
Arr, call me Captain Blaine Dread Pirate of the Catalina Blackwaters.
Carmen would be rolling her eyes so hard right now. Sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about. You're right. She would.
Ruby made Blaine an eye patch. It's like a callback from the Ranch episode. Being a captain.
I,
Yep.
Yeah,
I know what a captain or a pirate sounds like.
yeah. Franklin writing to his mom while Ruby interrupted him.
Yep.
This reminds me of the first episode when she first interrupted him while writing and said, "Franklin, are you gonna write the whole time at camp?" Well, roulette. Well,
Roulette.
you ruined the punchline there. I'm gonna go back. She said, "Franklin, are you gonna write the whole time at camp?" I'm gonna say to you, well, Little Red, he is gonna write the whole time he's there.
He is gonna write.
Yeah, it's so obvious now. He is gonna write the whole time.
I think I keep writing them because I don't know. I guess these letters are like the last thing that reminds me of my life before all of this.
Like your lost thread.
My what?
The thing that ties you to your former self.
Sure, yeah, I guess.
Franklin,
Yeah?
I know we've only known each other for a week, but it feels almost like I've known you for my whole life.
Me too.
I think you're my thread.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you guys up?
Hmm.
I can't sleep.
Yeah, we're up. I mean, I'm up.
Yeah. I am also up.
Ruby said that the letters was Franklin thread. This is awesome. This is so sweet. The thing that connects him to the past. Then he said, "Franklin, you are my thread."
So at this moment, this exact moment is when I'm like, oh, she's gonna die.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
I felt like
It's
that
so
was
evident.
confirmation because I'm like, he's her thread. I'm like, oh man, that's
Like,
that's
why
hard.
would you say that?
There's so many clues now. The clues are
Oh my goodness!
are piling up. The clues are piling up.
You might be right.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And you know
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said I'm like I have to admit something, and
Yeah.
I think she might be
And
doing
you
it.
know,
No.
and you know what sealed the kiss? It's the no kiss.
The no kiss, yeah,
Yeah.
that whole scene right there.
my
I
God.
was like, that
Blaine
was building
literally
up, and then, boom, crash, and I'm like,
Yeah.
she's gone.
That's what sealed the kiss. it's
Blaine
the no
is
kiss.
doomed us all.
Yeah. Well, because I can imagine like
Damn you, Blaine.
I can imagine Ruby dead,
Dang
and then
you,
Franklin
Blaine.
kissed her, because it's like this is the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Blaine, why?
All I can imagine when this thing is happening, because it's an audio drama, we can't see anything. While she was saying all these things, they were getting closer and closer
Yep.
together.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they're about to kiss. Loner Blaine showed up. I said Loner Blaine.
You guys awake?
Hey, you guys up?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, we're up. I mean, yeah, I'm up.
This is how I pictured like Blaine was like,
I am also awake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop that right now.
Like he was watching him the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
all right, hand check, guys. Let's not get too close here.
No. If that was the case, it's not the hand check. It's like, nope, I don't have my Carmen. You guys are not gonna have this moment. Nope, not on my watch.
Yeah. Dang.
I'm lonely. You're gonna be lonely.
Yeah, exactly. Right. When he said, "Are you guys
alone,
up?"
you're alone.
Frankie said, "We're up." I mean, I'm up. Of course you are up. Of course you are.
Well, I thought Ruby said that, and then and then Frankie was like, "Yeah, I'm," and then like you could hear the change in the voice, trying to sound sleepy. Like,
It reminds me of being a kid, like playing my like DS at night, or my Game Boy. And my mom would walk in the room and I throw it under the light.
So
completely busted already.
Yeah.
So for me, it was Game Boy original.
Wow.
The one without lights. So
Game Boy.
I
You
could
had
only
like the
play
little
for
like external light hooked up onto the top.
Oh, that's right.
No, we didn't have that kind of money.
Dang, you guys have Game Boy? I was in third world country. We have a brick game. So it's like pixelated games that's not even Game Boy. What you can play is Tetris. That's all you can play with it.
And what he's saying is he had bricks that were different colors that he would move around his bedroom.
In his bedroom.
He made Tetris in his bedroom.
Exactly. Right, that's right. And then Foreshadow, Frankie said, "We're all on a sleepless boat together." That was hilarious. He said, "We're all on a sleepless boat together," because they're gonna end up in a boat. That was the foreshadow. Franklin wanted to, what did he say? Franklin wanted to hear it first while they are planning their escape. They all groan. Even Ruby said Franklin. Wanted to eat first. Sorry, not here.
Yeah.
Wanted to eat first. Before they planned their escape,
boy
they all
after my own
groan.
heart.
Even Ruby said Franklin, and I was like, I'm with Franklin here.
Yep.
We gotta eat, guys. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, we can do all
You
this
can't hate on
planning.
him this time.
Exactly.
This time he is
I'm with you,
right.
boy, Franklin.
Yeah.
I'm
So
with you.
what I thought was interesting is like, how many days is this at this point? 3, 4?
Well, she said a week when they were having that little
A week?
fluffy conversation.
Yeah.
She
All
said
right.
a week.
How long can you survive on candy?
Oh, not a long time.
I would
Not
not
long
be
enough.
like, they are pretty clear. Would you say? Did you say long enough? Like, dude, like if because that's all they've had so far is candy, pretty much, right?
No, they had some at the ranch. Remember? There's a part the wedding.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. They have
Okay.
food at the
Still,
ranch. Yeah.
still for most of the
after
week,
that-
they've even before the ranch, you know, they had mostly just candy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they are doing pretty good for having survived on candy and sugar this entire time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, they got an upgrade on this one. They got Oreos.
Not
Yo.
yet.
Eventually.
I-
But right now they've been eating.
Stop ruining it. That's
Oh, that's
So
right.
wrong.
spoiler.
I wanted.
Well,
What'd you
yeah.
say? What'd you say, Ace?
I want some Oreos so bad now.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the
They-
sad part.
Right now, all they've had is oyster crackers.
Oyster
Yes.
crackers and pickles. Remember?
Pickles.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them might have ate it, but
Yeah.
Ruby didn't.
Well, how'd
Yeah.
you know I don't like
Ruby.
pickles?
Yeah, I know. Carmen said it, huh? Okay.
I guessed.
Yeah. I was like, Franklin, he's right. We gotta eat. He said he's out of candies. That gave Zach an idea about the secret stash that Pilar hid for him. And this
Go
is where
Pilar.
this is where the Oreo kicks in. While they're planning, Blaine said, I keep looking at this map, but they don't know Catalina that much, so they needed to retrace their steps. Zach made a brilliant idea of watching Curtis' video. Franklin said the same. So while they're watching the video, Franklin said the same thing that Zach said a few episodes ago, that they are taking what Curtis took backwards.
Maybe if we retrace our steps, we could think of something.
Well, it may not exactly be our steps, but
The hot cliff video?
yeah.
Move over. Let me see. There any footage of Avalon?
Yeah, let me rewind it to there.
Make room. Let me see. They were so happy. They had no idea what was coming.
None of us did.
It's like we've been following their path, just backwards.
I'm not one to be superstitious, but I have this feeling like we were supposed to find Curtis in the woods. Like his final purpose before he turned was to get this to us. I just don't know why yet.
So his death wasn't in vain.
Completely coincidental with the whole thing. It's like, oh, so you guys are in the same spot where we at right now, except for the airport. The rest are almost about the same. It's the ranch where we met the
when they're
girls.
watching it, that's where they're at.
And the camp. So because Curtis didn't end up in the camp, but where they met him and killed him or turned all the way back to where he has right now. They've been to the same spot where he's in.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, except for the airport.
Since we're discussing Curtis and Delilah,
yeah,
what are our theories on where she's going to show up?
I think it's gonna be a harbor. She's gonna show up at the harbor.
At the harbor?
No,
I think she's gonna be the way that they're able to use the ship, or she's not gonna show at all.
I think they're gonna. They mentioned it.
Hold on. You said she's not gonna show up at all.
Either she's gonna show up at the harbor, or I don't think she's gonna show up at all.
Gotcha. Okay.
I know they're gonna plan it out,
upsetting.
and but I think they're gonna meet her at the
Radio tower?
not the radio tower. What's that casino?
Casino?
Oh, the casino.
Yeah.
I thought about the casino because that was someplace where she had gone.
Yeah, and she also mentioned the meaning of casino.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
gathering. Yeah, gathering.
So
together.
if she's infected, I could see the casino.
yeah,
If she's normal, then I would think maybe the radio tower
right.
because she might be trying to radio for help.
Yeah, you know, I'm leaning more towards now that she's not infected, only because that if she's infected, instinctually knowing the zombies right now, she probably stayed in the hotel waiting for Curtis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think she will be waiting with Curtis at the hotel. So I think I'm leaning more towards now that she's not infected.
That she's alive. If
She's
that's the
alive.
case, I don't think she
Yeah.
will ever meet her
If she's alive?
I think we're gonna meet her still.
with his idea.
I think we're gonna meet her alive, but I think she's in that area right now.
In Avalon?
In
Is she in
Avalon,
I would
think,
agree.
I think
I would
she's
agree.
no, because they're in Avalon.
No,
they're-
he said that she returned to Two Harbors,
that's-
but I think
Yeah.
she might have ran when stuff started going down. She went
She
back to
evacuated.
Avalon because that was where she came,
Yeah.
and so that's where she would think to leave. Is where
Right.
she.
Well, because this whole conversation in the camcorder, they were at the ferry and they're looking at where the area. Yeah. So I think that's where they're gonna see her. Yeah.
Or maybe when they get to the boat, the yacht,
Yeah, she's in there hiding.
she's in there because she saw the yacht and knew it was big,
Oh.
and so she's like, I know where there's yachts, and so she knew that one was there and everything. So
Yeah, because she's the one who mentioned about the yacht.
yep,
That's
and
right.
she knew
Yeah.
the name. So
That's good. That's a good.
By the
theory.
way, I went back and listened. Did we ever get a name?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, they just saw a
just
big
a
old
description.
yacht.
Not even a description.
No, we got a description in OG about the
Like
boat.
color.
Kind of, I think.
Yeah, I thought we talked about it. I mean, they had a different shade of color that they mentioned, but
I just saw that on the page.
Oh.
On the Facebook page.
I think it had a description. I think, but
she just said that it's a. All I can remember is Peg saying that it's a big yacht.
yeah,
yeah.
which falls in line with
This
her
big old-
description of the Allegiant,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, we still. I'm still agreeing with Ace that, based on the timeline, I'm not saying that this is the same yacht or not the same yacht. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, it wouldn't line up to when they escape and they will cross over, of Michael and Peg swimming at that lake, and then
No,
the
I don't
kids,
think that's true.
Because the timeline is way too far.
Plus, I think if that is the same boat in OG, I think that they left it on a dinghy to go to land, and since they're not adults, they don't fully know how to drop anchor, possibly, and so they just left it floating.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the reason why they say in OG that it just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Huh.
Yeah.
Isn't
That's cool.
Where they are at, they're closer to the colony?
No, it's still far. Yeah, it's closer from the tower to the colony. Yeah, because it's on the way from the tower when Michael, Pegs, and Kelly was traveling. It's on the way, but I don't think it is close to the colony.
But in OG, that's where they ended up getting involved. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were
on
still
the way
further
to the colony. Yeah, they stopped by there. So in the video, the retracer step Zach made a brilliant idea of watching Curtis' video. Franklin said that the same thing that Zach, but backwards. Zach said, not being superstitious, he feels like they're meant to see Curtis, his final purpose. He just doesn't know what for. In the video, Curtis and Delilah seems to be in a ballroom or seeing the ballroom. Curtis said that we can dance the night away. I said this earlier, that she was a little annoyed and feels a little off. That it seems like she doesn't like Curtis. While they were watching, Delilah saw and described a yacht. This is the Elysian Scape, same which we confirmed later on that this is the same. This is the same yacht. The parents' boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Elysian Escape.
Right.
Elysian Escape. Okay.
Yep. That gave Blaine the idea. Zach, your parents' boat. Are they still there? Because they left with the chopper, but you came here with the boat. Are they still there? Yeah.
I love Zach's response. I don't know if he said that because I was looking at the map.
Yeah,
for him.
no, go ahead.
When they were like, she was like, "Oh, I'd love to meet the people who own that," and Zach's just like, "No, you don't."
Yeah, that's right.
No, you don't. Yeah.
You think you'd like to?
Yeah, they're a bunch of jerks. Ruby said that he was right about the video. What he meant about the video and his death is not in vain. Franklin said, "Thank you, you weird vlogger guy." Yeah. They started.
So real, though.
Vloggers,
right? Yeah.
Vloggers are so weird.
Yeah, they are weird. They started looking for the key to the yacht. Ruby found an old set of keys, which turned out to be liquor cabinet. It was Google this. Glenfiddich. It's 50-year.
Nothing. Should we check another room?
Wait, I found a key in the back of this drawer.
You did?
No, this can't be it. It's tiny and old.
Oh, that's the key to the liquor cabinet there.
Why would someone want to lock up their drinks?
When you have a Glenfiddich 50 year, you lock it up.
A what?
It's a scotch. It's worth over $20,000.
Wow. I want to see. What does that even look like?
Did he ever drink it?
Only on special occasions. I'm surprised he'd even leave it behind.
Well. Look who hangs his keys on a hook like a commoner.
You're kidding me.
Kinda. The hook was locked in the liquor cabinet. Got that little floaty thing attached for the boat, right?
That's it!
Yes!
Oh, put those things in a safe place so we won't be starting our getaway yacht.
My suck-ass parents may have abandoned me, but at least they still left us a ticket off this island.
It's called the Elysian Escape. Like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Now all we need to do is figure out how we're gonna get there.
Let's go check out the map again, now that we know where we're going.
I'll catch up in a second. Your Glenfiddich 50. I guess it is a special occasion.
That cost $40,000.
Yeah, it's much more than how Zach said it. I looked it up too. That thing is expensive.
It's expensive. That thing is ridiculously expensive.
I think we need to have some for next week.
It's a Scotch whiskey.
Can we get like an eye drop?
Right. I know. The things that they've been eating and consuming in here that is expensive.
Caviar,
The caviar.
$1,000 bite. Yeah.
That's right. Even the blanket. I know you mentioned earlier when they were deciding to sleep together.
Yeah.
He pulls out the stuff. Like that is a 900 something
900
Peruvian.
She count, or 9,000.
Yeah.
9,000 third count.
Yeah.
like-
How did you even know that?
like-
More than just a pretty face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, what a play.
Right.
You know what I thought? In this scene, it made me build a picture of who Mindy and Harv. I thought Harv is some 50-year-old mafia guy.
Uh-huh.
And Mindy is some 22 too blondie. The reason why I said this is because, well, not because Mindy being blondie, 22, young and dumb kind of thing, but for Harv is because Zach said his dad is a security freak. I'm like, you're rich, I get it, but what are you worried about? Who's gonna go after you?
If Mindy's his mom, though, she couldn't be 20-something. Because he's in his early teens, isn't he? He's like 10 or 12.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
So
That's right.
she's got to be at least 30.
What kind of island is this?
Okay.
She's at least 30.
All right, at least 30. But still, I'm thinking that Harv is some kind of mafia dude or
yeah.
whatever for having so much security around his island.
I think
or his house.
he's just worried about his wealth, like being the rich person, you know.
I mean, the
He's
way
cartel.
how
He's totally cartel.
yeah, exactly. The way how Blaine said is like he has rich over rich with extra rich somewhere.
With a side of rich.
Yeah.
It's probably family. Think about it though.
Well, speaking of that, off of Lake Lansing Road.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen the new house that went up on the old golf course?
Every single listener is like, "What is he talking about?"
Sorry. So in our area, there was an old golf course.
Even I'm saying.
So hang on, it's an old golf course, and like there used to be a clubhouse, and you used to sit down.
Yeah.
And this guy bought the property, built up that area, like destroyed the clubhouse, built it up so that his house is now on top of, like, can be seen, 40,000 square feet. Like, he has 21 car parking spots underground, 2 elevators.
What?
Yeah. Helicopter pad. Basically, it is Zach's house.
Yeah.
2 people live in there.
Nice.
Like
has to be hard.
the front foyer
Yeah.
is 1,800 square feet.
Yeah, they're cooking meth.
No, he did some kind of, like, he created some kind of program that ended up like getting really big and yeah, so he
You
made
got a bigger payout of that?
yeah, you got to massively. And
Hey,
so
hey,
Show me the money.
woo, I know. Hey, if you got the money, you know what I mean.
but yeah,
do it.
basically
Right.
we have his Zach's parents' house
Right.
in
Yeah.
in the city.
That's crazy.
So right after that, they decided to leave, but Zach stayed in. This whole thing is definitely a revenge for him. You know, Zach did something, and I assume he poured the drink.
Yeah,
right.
he poured it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a special occasion,
Which was kind of awesome. I was hoping, I was like, is he gonna drink it?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, we're leaving. Let's see what my dad was drinking. But then you hear him just pouring it, and you can hear the snicker in his voice.
Yeah. They started listing the things that they know about the infected. Zach had an idea about using the radio tower to confuse them, and with the noise. They're gonna split up. Zach and Blaine going to the radio tower, and Ruby and Frank going to get the yacht. So in this plan, remember your theory, Ace, about Zach and Blaine, how they're gonna die? This doubled down to it.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
almost exactly like what happens in Gold Rush, man. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or not Gold Rush, freaking Lockdown.
Oh,
like,
right,
they're
right.
separating. It's
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
So-
going downhill. Like,
Yeah.
don't you know? You never separate.
Yes. Yes.
One thing that I'm curious about is where the fireworks are going to come into effect.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen those
I,
yet.
I think
might
it's
be
going to
this.
end up being like a final distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be this.
Yeah.
This got to be it, because knowing fireworks it's definitely a distraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big bang.
Because something like those movie trope where usually with the bomb, to kill everybody, and then the kill switch stop working, so you have to go there to start it. Oh,
Yeah.
like what happened to OG
Like
World
someone has to
with,
stay behind,
Yeah, with
yeah.
Saul. Like what happened with Saul. So something like this similar.
Oh, and I mean, like something kind of like that happened in Lockdown with
Oh yeah, with the gate.
Fredo and
Oh, the computer
blanking
chick.
on her name right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Let's not link everything together. Casey has some creativity. He mixes things up a little bit.
He's creatively breaking my heart again.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah.
Same story, same heartbreak.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
and then with this whole thing that we're talking about and theorizing about people dying, right? They doubled down because Ruby stated the flow of the heist and frankly said,
Okay, so let me see if I've got all this. Zack and Blaine sneak to the broadcast tower, use the speakers to distract the infected so Franklin and I can get to Casino Point, then break into the mega yacht, drive it over to the other side of the harbor to pick you guys up, and then sail off to our freedom. All without getting murdered by monsters.
Yeah, pretty much.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh dear. Well, we better start getting ready.
what could possibly go wrong?
He had to set the red flag. He had to set the red flag.
I'm gonna say it now.
That is the red flag.
Yeah.
Bye, Ruby.
No, but the way he said it too, it's a little, not a little. It was sarcastically. He was saying it, of course, it's sarcastically, but still, what could possibly go wrong?
I'm still hopeful all four of them make it out, but
yeah. With Delilah,
once they
can you
split,
imagine?
if there was 5 of them and Delilah was with them?
Yeah, if Delilah ended up surviving the whole trip and she wasn't there at all other than in the camera, I'll be so mad. It's like, why are you alive? I want Ruby.
Honestly, if Ruby, Delilah, and Frankie made it,
you're okay?
I don't care about the other two.
Oh man, I like Blaine. I like
I like him. But if Delilah came through,
remember Dylan,
What I've been through,
Zach is listening to us.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man.
Isn't he the one who just suggested to split up?
Yeah.
He did it to himself. He did it to himself.
And he already knows the ending. You know what I mean? He already knows the ending. He knows what happened. Whether you're a survivor or not, you already know.
Either he's sitting there listening, going, these jerks, or he's like, wow, they got it.
I know.
They got a point.
Or he's probably too, he's too invested with Ruby and Frankie. He's probably like, guys, I'm with you. I would rather die than them. Just kill me off.
He's over there like, put me in a backpack. I'll come with you.
Right. But yeah, that line, what could possibly go wrong?
Dang, Franklin.
And then we went to the post-credit scene of eating raw meat. That was a post-credit scene. And then I love in the last part of it said, except eating sushi.
That was good.
Yeah, that was great.
So I just thought about something back when they were in the office. And they were talking about that detailed map that they followed.
Yeah.
Did you guys look up what that was? Like it was a lithograph.
Yeah, it was like a prized possession that his dad has. No,
So what that is apparently is they take and they draw or paint or something like that on stone or metal, and then press that onto the paper, and it apparently can create really detailed stuff, but it doesn't leave any imprint from like ink or pens or something like that. That's a very rough description, but it was pretty interesting.
Wow.
That is neat.
Ace, it was the map to the One Piece. That's
The what?
it's like what?
Oh, One Piece. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. That's the thing on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've been told to
Oh,
watch
that's
it.
right. You do know One Piece.
I know the name of it, and I know it's on Netflix. That's it.
Yeah. And of course,
Isn't he a monkey?
And of course, I listened towards the end to make sure that it's still the same person. And yes, it was Elisa Elliott. That's Mindy. Still Elisa Elliott. But yeah, dude, what a great episode. It's a slow episode, not too intense, but it's fun. There's some big nuggets in there. Pilar talking. Seeing Curtis and Delilah again. The yacht is a big thing in this episode. So, and then of course, Zach shutting up finally about his abandonment issue between him and Blaine. Finally,
only
that's
halfway
over.
through the episode.
How many times do you have to say it? Okay, how many times?
You know what? Maybe the reason he has abandonment issues is they're not his real parents. He's in a foster home, and he's struggling with abandonment because he was given up, and that's why they're like, "Screw him, we're
We can
leaving.
get another kid.
We can just buy another one."
Right. Dude, the possibility of that though is big. But
just so we're clear, I'm adopted, so I can go there.
The possibility of that is really high if it was in the first episode, like early episode of the season.
Yeah, and then he would explain that he's gonna foster. Yeah.
But we are like the next week is the last episode.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's go with our theory. What do you think is gonna happen in the next one?
He ruined it. What? I didn't think of Ruby dying, and then you guys put it all together. I was like, oh no.
Wakka's heart just dropped.
I know, man. It just dropped here.
It could be.
So it makes me really excited for next week's episode.
Yeah.
Especially the way we're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be exciting.
Before that, let's talk about the theory first. Ace, do you have any theory? I know we kind of like in passing talked about it, but what do you think is going to happen in the last episode?
I definitely think it's going to end up going towards someone's going to have to stay behind.
Yeah.
Blaine's going to be like, I'm going to do it because he's going to try taking that leader role, that boss role situation that he's been stepping back up to again.
Yeah.
And Zach's going to be like, you still have family you got to go find. Mine are gone. You're my family, blah, 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 and like go towards that and stay behind, which is going to lead to Zach dying.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the Black Widow and Hawkeye moment.
Yeah. And whoever stays behind is going to probably light off the fireworks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like the radio won't work. The radio tower idea doesn't work, so he's going to do the firework thing.
Right.
Or it will work.
Or it's going to work, and then they're going to start going towards the boat. And they're like, oh, they're going to the boat. We have to get them off the boat.
Yeah,
fireworks.
And then fireworks. Yep.
Plan B. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, who all thinks Ruby's gonna die?
Okay, so
I don't want to believe it.
I'm saying no.
So I think this is me. Okay. Knowing Casey, I think he's putting on the platter that Ruby's gonna die, and then change it.
Do you think because every time we've been invested into somebody, he rips it away from us?
No, because but let me say this. I've never been so intense about details in We're Alive until we started shooting podcasts. So in the OG We're Alive, and I listened to it, all of the ones that died, I didn't expect them. Like every single one of them. Right. And like I said, I didn't really look at the detail on how are they doing it. Even on Descendants, like I didn't realize Lisa's gonna die. I thought it's more like Vera is gonna die more than Lisa. And then when Lisa died, I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So yeah, that part. So I think this is like a misdirection.
Okay.
Like, we have
Let's
Ruby
hope so.
dying, and then she didn't die, and then Frankie died.
Because every single every single series, the what's what I'm looking for, the poster couple, has been torn apart.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Right.
Including Descendants, because that was
Michael and Pegs.
Descendants.
Yeah, Michael and Pegs.
Remember, Michael was still he was dying.
I don't really consider that the one. He's residual from OG. I'm saying,
but he did get through his whole story with the girl still.
Yeah. But I would say Saul and Lizzie was the poster couple on that.
Yes.
And then Lockdown was just that was crap.
Yeah.
A great story, just the ripping out of the relationship, but like,
oh my god!
So
right, betrayal and all that.
Nick and Lisa, like that was kind of that poster relationship, and then she dies.
Actually, I'm more voting for Nick and Vera over Nick and Lisa. I think Nick and Vera.
I always thought that they were gonna be
from the start, it was Nick and Lisa.
From the start, I thought it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's just
actually, let me hold back a little bit, Jay. It's not Lick and Lisa. It's Alex and Dot. That's a poster couple.
Okay, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
That's right.
Because I do remember me saying he better not kill off Dot. Like, Dot needs to survive.
Dot definitely needs to survive.
How invested are you in a character that says one word?
Yeah. Alex and Dot is definitely the poster couple.
Okay, true. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But still, to that point though, we're very invested in Dot, and we do not want her to be taken away.
I agree.
So, but it's happened. It's kind of a so hopefully Ruby doesn't. So
Ruby's just great. I love that character.
She's good.
She's great. But
her money.
Right. But out of all the characters, though, out of all that four. 4, yeah.
5. If you're including Delilah.
Yeah. No, with Carmen.
Oh, okay.
Out of all that,
Yeah.
out of all that 5 characters, Carmen is the least person that'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You mean you were fine with it?
No, if you rank them, whoever's like likely is going to die out of all 5 of them, it'll be Carmen.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the rest of them has value, has purpose.
Carmen had value also.
Well, I
Because
get
according
that.
to Jake, Carmen had value.
He's backtracking.
You handed that one to me. Sorry.
But the Ruby, of course, the Ruby is with Franklin. You know, like the Ruby and Franklin thing. But Carmen's like, okay, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Doesn't hurt too bad.
Yeah, she's in the lowest totem pole. Yeah, of death. Yeah. But man, that was, dude. So my theory in the next episode is we're gonna have that whole heist thing going on, and I think it's gonna end in the yacht. That's where it's gonna end.
I agree with that.
That whole thing is gonna end in the yacht. Now, whether they escape and get to the mainland, but I think it's gonna end in the yacht. I think we're gonna have a whole fight with Joe, and I think Joe is gonna go down. I don't think Joe is gonna survive.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Pilar's gonna pull up.
Yeah. So whether Pilar will help or they will defeat Joe, I think Joe is gonna be done with this.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna see the little girl again?
I hope so.
Me too.
It would just be a good
really
cherry on the
hope
top.
so.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
You know what,
That was
Casey?
nice.
If you can edit that back in there or something, that would just add to it so
what
much.
I can imagine though with the little girl, the way they will defeat the little girl is she still has the bow around her. And then they grab the bow and shoot her with it, you know, because it was Carmen's bow.
That's true.
You know? She's holding on the bow, like someone chucked this at me. I'm gonna get them back. Yeah, that's
She's
what I
the
can
true
imagine.
leader. I'm gonna believe she's the true leader if she comes back.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we see Delilah, and I'm hoping she's still alive.
Yeah.
I think that's a good possibility. I don't think her being turned would have any kind of resolution or addition to her story, because then there's no communication there. It's just, oh, she's turned. That's the end.
Yeah.
You know, but if they meet her and she's alive,
that could be a big thing. That could be like a big hit to Zach, though.
If she's turned.
Yeah.
it could
I can
be,
see
but
that. I can definitely see that.
yeah, I see it being.
But I think it'd be more impactful if she's alive.
Yeah.
I
And even if it's just a matter of she's alive and she helps the kids, you know, I think that would be a huge surprise kind of thing.
Right.
That would be like, oh my gosh, you're the person we've been watching, and she's fighting through her unknown, you know, torture of is Curtis alive, you know.
Yeah.
But she finds out he's dead, but she's still helping the kids. Like, that would be huge in terms of, you know, this. But yeah, I agree with Ace though that they're probably gonna get to the radio tower.
And not working.
I think it might work, but then, like he said, as they're heading towards the other part of the harbor, there's gonna be so many of them, or they're gonna redirect, and then one of them is gonna have to stay behind and light off the fireworks as a final distraction.
Do you think Joe or anybody will be smart enough to know that the source of that voice is not coming from the speakers, coming from the radio tower?
No.
So they start attacking the radio tower instead of, you know, the
No, I don't
speakers.
think so.
Yeah.
I'm curious what kind of battle there will be with Joe, or the Horde in general.
Because
But
they don't really have weapon, you know? They have the rifle, but they don't really have any weapons.
how many bullets do they have left? 15 still, right?
15. Yeah, 15.
Oh,
Yeah.
Casey mentioned something about that with the whole bullet thing on the chat, or in the.
Oh yeah, he
comment.
said what kind of gun it was.
Oh yeah. He talked about it. Yeah, but that's really interesting. This whole dilemma on how they're gonna defeat Joe, how they're gonna get out, because we know it's gonna happen eventually. You know, well, hold on, let me take it back. We don't know if they're gonna escape or not, right? It's still unclear.
Yeah.
Because I can see him not escaping.
They very well could. It could just be this is a one-off and they don't make it off the island and all of them die.
Yeah, and then someone, you know, like the book got thrown into the lake and someone find Franklin's notebook because he's writing down every.
Or it's just a monologue that we're listening to and nobody finds it. It could just be a complete standalone.
Oh, I think someone's found it. If anything, yeah.
I do think that if that's how it ended, that would be probably the most unfortunate ending, because it's like, oh well, it's cool, we got like story here and I'm happy about that, but like what does this have to really do with our crew?
When there's so many easy ways to tie it into everything else, yeah, I feel like cutting it off would be a disservice to the world itself. Our world.
Yeah. It was Omerly Maz 958 who said about that. I think Joe's last thoughts are to evacuate. To whether it's a human or it's a zombie, he's trying to evacuate the island, leave the place somehow.
Yeah.
And then this is how we're gonna end it, unless you guys have other thoughts. And I promise him we're gonna talk about it. Matthew Kariga 8859 said, since you've never done videos about lockdown and Gold Rush, what were your thoughts? And I promised him we're going to talk about it in the podcast. What are you guys' thoughts about lockdown and Gold Rush?
When I first heard it, it was heartbreaking at the end that every single one of them died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, almost everyone in lockdown.
Almost,
Yeah.
Well,
Lockdown is my favorite spin-off so far.
Agreed.
I'm really enjoying this one. I enjoyed Gold Rush, but Lockdown was the one that I listened to like 6 to 7 times.
He's really invested in the family, and Lockdown is like family.
Even outside of that was our first look at like a super contained version of Ink, and not just him out playing with people essentially. Like that was him actually being his meticulous evil mastermind, while you're hearing these other people struggling and learning and being like, it's really, there is no hope. Like, we're stuck here, and best case scenario, we die in here is kind of what the result ended up being.
Although it was a fitting ending.
Lockdown?
Yeah. Because he shows up, tells him the real story, and then I'm going to complete my mission by killing you.
Yeah. It was satisfying.
Yes.
The ending was very satisfying. Yeah.
How long was
This is what
Lockdown?
got me so
An hour
hooked into
each.
the family.
So
was
6 episodes.
Lockdown.
It was 6 episodes?
What'd you say,
I'm
Ace?
going to have to re-listen to it.
Lockdown is what got me so invested into the family.
Yeah. Some might say that Lockdown is family oriented.
I hate this podcast.
Oh man, that was beautiful. I'm actually going to have to say I think I liked Gold Rush. I thought it was an interesting escape.
Yeah.
And then just it was a completely different world that they were in for a little while, and it was interesting. I also thought it was really weird how a bunch of military guys could just go AWOL for like however long they were there, and,
right.
But it was interesting. And then again, like you said at the end of it, it was just like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Lockdown to me it took me a moment, because so when I started listening to We're Alive, it was the end of Lockdown is over, right? That's when I started listening to We're Alive. So after I finished the OG We're Alive, I didn't listen right away to Lockdown. I had to re-listen to We're Alive again, and I think this is on purpose, because I didn't really think that Lockdown is that important, because I love the OG We're Alive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. So I re-listened to the We're Alive OG again. And then the only time I started listening to Lockdown, Ace, I don't know if you remember this, when we drove to Indiana together, and that was like 6-hour drive, because you asked me, have you listened to Lockdown
Oh,
yet?
it's Illinois. Yeah.
Illinois. And I said, no. I said, what? You were surprised, and then we started listening to it. I think I'm just too attached, right? I just got too attached to OG We're Alive that I didn't want to start Lockdown.
Yeah.
And then when I listened to Lockdown, I'm like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have waited this long. and it was great. The beginning of it, the whole premise, we see more of Ink in lockdown, and then it ended just great.
I have to re-listen to it.
It would be scary to go, almost scary to go into another season or series of the same show, because you never know if it's going to live up to the hype that the first one did.
Yes.
And the first one set such a high bar.
Yes.
Story of Survival set such a high bar.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Imagine going right into, it's almost like going from Teen Titans to Teen Titans Go. Is it gonna be that, or is it gonna live up to?
No,
that was hurtful for me.
No, because it's always like that. The majority of movies and TV shows that we've seen, when you do a second part of the movie, it's always like a letdown. Not all the time, but most of the time it's a letdown.
Or Batman the animated series to any DC movie in existence.
Right. Yeah. So. You're right. But Gold Rush I thought Gold Rush will be just a mellow. I don't know why. I thought it was just an adventure of the soldiers that nothing really involved.
Everyone thought it was just reminiscing of the soldiers that all died. That's
it. And it gives you like a country vibe. They're in the desert. This is great.
Western.
Yeah,
vibe.
Western. Yeah. And then, but the bunker, that was like every Doomsday Prepper dream
made me
come
think
true.
of Fallout.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Big time.
And then what I love about Gold Rush is the sound, the music. Remember that when they the two girls singing?
Oh,
yeah,
that was in the beginning, first episode, right?
Yes.
That was a big.
I love it.
It was nice.
I love that. They made a whole song, and it was great.
It was I think it was in a bar. They were doing like a mini celebration.
Yes, they were playing at the bar.
It was great. And then it ended with a heartbreaking moment with the couple again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
6 hours of building them up, and then dreams just
and yoink.
But what did we get from Gold Rush? We got Alex.
Well, we did get Alex. The other thing that we also got from Gold Rush is the
Gloria.
No, not Gloria. The
demon.
The completion of why Victor messed up.
Oh,
the story where what did Victor do?
Yeah. Remember that?
No,
because Michael doesn't trust Victor. Because
of what it was later in the season.
Like in season 3.
Yeah. What he did, and when the series ended, we don't know. Like, what happened? What did Victor do? And then they answered it in Gold Rush.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I think it took so long to get the answer.
Everybody was caught up. Like, what did you do? Why is he so mad at you?
And I saw some of the comments in the chat lines and everywhere. They were also wondering, what did Victor do? Everybody. And then Gold Rush answered it. You're right.
I feel like, and don't get me wrong, Casey, I feel like you didn't really have an answer to that, and it just got pushed by people. Like, what did he do? Well, now I gotta give him a reason. What did he exactly do?
It's like, dang, I forgot he actually liked him originally. This was a mistake. Now I have to write an entire mini-series on why he's pissed at him.
Yeah. It was great, and and that's when we first got introduced. Not first, but the grown-up Nick in Gold Rush.
That was cool.
Yeah. But that's about it. We cannot wait to do the last episode. So what we agreed as a team to do in the last episode, if you're watching and listening to this on YouTube or in any of your podcasts, is we're going to listen to it live. We're not going to do any prep work of listening to it and going back and, making notes on what happened. We're going to listen to it live, press play and pause if there's anything that we caught on or something that we like. And you're gonna be with us. We are listening to it the way you probably finished the whole episode already before you listen to us.
Yeah. Or you can listen to it with us.
Yeah, or you can listen to it with us. But that's the plan. Is we're gonna play it, and Casey said we can do anything with this episode, in full discretion, of course. We can't sell the episode. We're not allowed to anybody. We're not gonna do that. But we're listening to the whole thing.
There go my plans.
Yeah. It's already on eBay.
Oh man.
So you're saying I should take that down?
Wait, no, I bid it to it.
He's the high bidder right now.
I'm the highest bidder. But yeah, That is the plan for the last episode of Scouts Honor. And it's
awesome, exciting.
It's been exciting, but we love you guys. We thank you so much for listening to this pod. Is it gonna play? Yes, it's gonna play. Thank you guys. I changed it because someone's hating on my background music. But we'll see you guys later. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye. Oh, this is so jamming. I love it.
I was rocking to it, man.